He said, by the means of his death, he might destroy him, having the power of death, that is the devil, and deliver those who throughout life were held in slavery by fear. You know what? Well, let me tell you something. One of the number one things that I don't want to say I struggle. I guess it's a struggle. In counseling people, that's a challenge for me. Is I don't always have the words to help people break free of being enslaved to fear. Afraid to try something, afraid to let go of something, there's just fear that they're enslaved to in all kinds of different aspects of their lives. Not necessarily that they're afraid of everything, although there are a few of those, okay, who just live in fear perpetually. But some of you are great in a lot of areas and have that one thing that just has you enslaved to fear. And so you're afraid to fail, you're afraid to succeed. You know, the first time I heard that idea of fear of success, I was flabbergasted. I was a teenager. I didn't know what in the world that could possibly be. But the more I read about it, the more I could see that it's a real thing. Now, I was always that, go-getter type guy, okay? So I didn't understand. I wanted to succeed. I had no fear of it, et cetera. I had, whatever. But the thing is, these fears are real for people. But he's supposed to be the key to setting you free from being enslaved to fear. Any fear. But you got to bring in that trust and belief and be delivered out of that fear. All right? Because he's telling you that this is part of the power that the devil has. The devil wants you to be afraid. Okay? So this is why, I'm going to get in so much trouble. Look, this is why the church basically functions as a tool of the devil. Because all they do is try to smack you with fear. Okay? I'm not saying they're intending to be a tool of the devil. But one of the main things that they do, and you can hear this, you know what? You don't hear a lot of people screaming at the pulpit about how great heaven is. Not that I think we're going there. Revelation says it's coming here, but that's not the point. Let's assume that they believe that you're going there, and they also believe that you could be going to the other place, which I disagree with both of those, but let's just assume for a second. What do you hear them preaching all the time, though? Fire and brimstone. Fear. Fear, fear, and fear, and fear, and fear. That's all. Do they give you any real solution to the fear? No. Do they actually acknowledge that Yeshua was here to deliver you from that? Do not be afraid. He did not give you what? The spirit of fear. What's the opposite of that? What did he give you? A sound mind. Oh, so this fear is an unsound mind. Let this mind be in you. It's a sound mind. Philippians 2:5. Ooh. Some of the people out there are like, why do you always talk about this stuff and the mental stuff? Because it's here. That's what it's talking about. He says, I did not give you a spirit of fear, but I gave you the spirit of a sound mind. By the way, that goes to show you that spirit is not an outside thing that comes into you. I didn't give you a mindset of fear. I gave you a mindset that's healthy, that's sound. Tie into my mind, it's sound. You know what's an unhealthy mind? The devil's got a very unhealthy mind. An unsound mind, just absolutely raging with everything that's wrong. And if you open up a door because you are open to that mindset, he's coming running in. So some of you really do need deliverance, but not in the way Christianity does it. The deliverance has already been provided. What you need to do is receive it. You don't need a ceremony. You don't need to confess in public all the things you did or whatever they make you do, the nonsense that they do in these ministries. And I think they only make things worse. That's my opinion. People say, oh no, I've seen some amazing things done. Yeah, did you go back and see where they were like a month later or a year later? I don't think you did amazing things, okay? Every story I get to hear made things worse. Now bear in mind, you may have gotten a positive response because sometimes you get a positive response just to get the person to stop, okay? I'll tell you a quick story. Years and years ago when I wasn't doing anything, I wasn't keeping anything, I happened to be working at a conference in the big conference center room, like one of those type of deals where people have a lot of booths and they're selling different things. And so it was kind of a new agey kind of deal. I was there working, selling Tony Robbins stuff. So it was really about personal development. But there was a guy in a booth 5 booths down or something like that was selling crystals. And he said, oh, these crystals can do this and can do that and everything else. He said, do you have a headache? And I usually did in those days. I had a lot of muscle tension headaches, so I was always pushing myself too hard. I said, yeah. So he took the thing, put it on my head, and didn't do anything. So he said, do anything? I said, no. But after about 5 or 6 different tries and I needed to go do something, I said, oh man, I feel great, just to get him to stop. I think you may see some of that in the deliverance ministries. And people are like, oh my gosh, it's all better now. Just leave me alone. Don't make me confess stuff in front of everybody anymore. And he was like, look, it does work. Another happy customer. I was like, no, I just wanted to leave you. Because he wasn't going to stop. Okay? Because he was convinced it would work, and it didn't. All right? Now, so bear in mind what it's talking about here. This battle is about fear and slavery to fear and the acceptance of the deliverer that came to deliver you from that slavery to fear. And the devil's role is to keep you in that slavery to fear.